So what's the fastest way of laying out the pentatonic scale so you can improve your speed just like overnight? Well, it involves a little bit of a stretch because we have to play over a little bit more than 4 frets when we do this. But the reward is that you suddenly can, play ultra fast and use your legato sequences in a totally new way. My name is Claus Levin, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and download the free product on alternate picking product course. I'm in the key of C here, so I got my C minor pentatonic in the 8th fret. And you can do this with any one of the scale shapes, of course, in the pentatonic scale, but we're just going to focus on the first one. So we got the 8th and the 11th on the low E string, and then we got the 8th and the 10th on both the A, the D, the G, and then we got the 8th and 11th on the B string and the high E string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up and play the position higher. So I'm going to play 3 notes on the top string and 1 note on the next string. And this might be a bit of a challenge in the beginning, but I assure you, if you just keep doing it like it was the easiest thing in the world, just keep practicing it, then pretty soon it's going to feel natural. So I use my first finger in the 8th fret, my third finger in the 11th fret, and then I reach for the 13th fret with my pinky, and make sure you kind of strive to hit the notes with the tip of your fingers instead of too much of this, right? So put your thumb in the middle of the neck behind it. So increase your reach. If you have a problem reaching for these notes, just put your guitar on your other leg, buy a stool that you can put your foot on, or put it on a couple of whatever, right, books, and then you'll see that your reach is way better, especially if you put your elbow down there. This is also the position I would, if I was standing up and I have my guitar strapped to the body. So this is not unnatural or unusual. This is a very good way to practice. But so we got the 8th, we got the 11th, and we got the 13th on the high E string. And you can already hear, you can start going, or you can go, hit the top note, pull off down to the bottom note, and then go up and down, and then hit the top note and start over. Right? So that's pretty neat. You just hard to do with the 2-note per string format. So on the next string here, I'm going to hit the 11th fret, and that's the only note I have. So that's basically the top note of the 2 on the B string in the normal shape. And then on the G string, I have my 8 and my 10th fret. But then I also reach for the 12th fret, which is in the next position, you could say. So now I have this shape. And I can already start playing up and down here. I can go. Right? And the cool thing is that when I go from string to string, I can do a sweep picking string shift, which is infinitely easier than doing alternate picking or playing 2-note per string with alternate picking. And when I'm playing notes on one string, I can use legato. This makes this way of laying out the pentatonic scale immensely fun. So I can just start with just a little exercise here. Pick the first note in the 8th fret and hammer on to the 11th and to the 13th, and then pull off again and go right back to the first note. So, right? Pretty easy, right? Then I'm going to hit the 11th fret with a downstroke, and then go right back with an upstroke to my first note. So now I have an alternate picking string shift. I can also do a downstroke, 1 sweep picking string shift. So I go down, up, right? Or I can use sweep picking. So it's just 2 downstrokes, right? So in that you can then introduce a little variation where instead of just going up and down these 4 notes, then every time you hit this note in the 8th fret on the high E string, you just hammer on again in the 11th fret and pull off. If you put that in there, right? then you can really do some fast stuff already. But let's take it down to the next string, right? Because then you can do, once I've hit the 11th fret on the B string, I can go down to the 12th fret on the G string. And then from here, I'm going to pull off all the way down to the low note on the G string. So I go, right, so I go, and I do 2 upstrokes there, or a sweep picking upstroke. Up, up, and then pull off down to the 8th. Alright? And then once I pull off down to the 8th fret, and then I go up and down. Right? And then I hit the 12th fret again. So alright? And then I hit the 11th fret on the B string with a downstroke, and then another downstroke in the 8th fret on the high E string, and then I'm back to the beginning here again. Right? And if you just take a little shape like this, let me just play the whole thing slowly for you before we move on. Right? And then you can actually put in your little variation. Whatever you can do already on one string, you can put in. But now you have a way of getting from one string to another through that B string, which only has one note, but with sweep picking strings. So the cool thing, and we can of course take this, we can start on any string. We start on the high E string and then lay out the pentatonic scale like that. I can go even further down. Right? But, and I can do that from the high E string, and that will give me 3-1-3-1-3 shape. Or I can do it from the B string, which is gonna, cover the other strings as well. But the way to really make this part of your playing, because who does this right in the middle of a solo? Well, if you integrate it into what you know already, and you start developing little licks, like little lines in your first position minor pentatonic, with your 2-note per string format, and then say, okay, from this little position here, right, I can go. Let's just do that. So I go, I'm playing down there, right? But then from this note here, when I hit that, I can, right, I can do that. For instance, right? Right, let's do that. A violent sound we got today on this Charvel. So I go slowly. Then we can develop other places where we do the same thing, where you take, and then instead of playing, 3-1-3 shapes all the time up and down the fretboard and practice them in all 7 positions or 5 positions, being able to solo within these 3-1-3 shapes, don't do that. Just take your favorite phrasing tool and then integrate these 3-1-3 shapes superimpose them on top of your normal stuff, and then practice going back and forth, because then you can really add those little fast bursts of notes. Right? Real easily. So that concludes this lesson on pentatonic patterns for high-speed solos. Don't forget to subscribe, as I said, and go download the free course on alternate picking by clicking the link just below here. And I hope to see you in the next video.